Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. Okay, you get the working on the treadmill version today. Alright, so a visitor visa, you have to have the intent to return to your home country when you're done. When you have a family petition, the intent is opposite. You of course intend to get the green card and stay here forever. So the question is whether or not you can get a visitor visa if you have a family petition pending. And it's not an absolute yes and it's not an absolute no. It depends. Okay? I know that there's another part of this question. You said your mom petitioned you. So it's many years, okay, for the visa number to become current. Now let's say that she petitioned you last year. And let's say that depending what country you're from, let's say that the visa waiting time is 10 years, okay? So given those facts alone, you would have 9 years more to wait. Now, an argument could be made if you wanted to come in on a visitor visa that your current intention is not to stay forever, not to get the green card, not to, remain here unlawfully. And because the visa number is 9 years away or more, just again using an example based on this type of preference, it could very well be a realistic argument that would be believed by the immigration official. I mean, when you think about it, if you come here, you cannot stay here for year after year after year based on the fact that you have a family petition and based on the fact that eventually it would become current. Once you would go out of status, you're ultimately going to become subject to the 3 to 10 year bar. You won't be able to adjust status, and all of that goes to the belief as to why would you come here on a visitor visa only to overstay all the years for the visa number to become current, where you're not going to be able to adjust and not going to be able to benefit from it anyways. You would also have to show in your application for the visitor visa why you intend on going back to your home country, minus the law, okay, minus the fact what I was just talking about, the visa number become current and the law. You would have to, sorry, we have a garbage truck coming outside, so hopefully you can still hear me. Hopefully you would be able to show things from your home country. For example, let's say that you work, as an engineer or whatever at some firm, wherever it is you're from. You would hopefully be able to have a letter and some documentation showing that you are allowed to have this, vacation time, and that you're expected to come back to your job once you return. And, the more detail, the better. Obviously, if it's on a white piece of paper, handwritten in pencil, that's not going to look real good. So you want to have something on letterhead, and you want to have something that shows sufficiently that you have a job to come back to. Now also, and this might be more difficult, if you have a family, such as a spouse or children, if they remain in your country as you come and visit here, that looks better for visitor visa purposes, because who would leave their family, right? I mean, and I know it happens. Believe me, I have lots of clients, I know it happens, but at least you would be able to show your family's there, your job's there. And then it would also depend if you own property. For example, if you own a house. If you own the house, it's unlikely you're going to just leave and say goodbye and never come back. When you have property that you have to maintain, that you have to pay, a mortgage if you are paying one. And so those are some of the factors. Now, a lot of times what you get is someone who's single, doesn't have a job, is young, has no family and no assets. Okay, so you can understand based on what I'm saying, if somebody like that goes into the interview, there's no way they're going to believe that you're just coming back. Okay, I'm not saying it can't be done, but understand the law on visitor visas. It's like guilty until proven innocent. The law specifically says you are presumed to not want to come back. And so that's what you have to walk in. You have to walk in the door with that presumption that you are never going to come back. And you have to prove that presumption incorrect. Okay? So that's the first thing that you have to deal with. Now, next, I sometimes get people on family petitions, like yourself, that are waiting many, many years, and they want to visit, and all they do is wait. Come to find out that there are a whole lot of different ways that they can come into the U.S. Other than just the family petition, and it's not one or the other. You don't have to, for example, let's say you find an employer that wants to petition you, whether it's for a non-immigrant visa or for the green card. And that's going to take a lot less time than the petition you're on. That doesn't mean that you have to, withdraw or have your mother withdraw the petition that you're on. Rather, that means that it's like two horses going around the track. The first one to the finish line wins. Okay? So there's absolutely no problem having, for example, that's the plane coming by. We live near the airport. So that's the issue. So you can find different ways to come in, and would take a lot less time. Because 9-10 years, that's a long time to wait for a visa number to become current. If you happen to be by a country or a citizen of a country that has a treaty with the U.S. that allows E2 visas, then, of course this requires money, but you would be able to invest in a company here in the U.S., start your own or invest, in order to get the E2. And the E2 has no problem with the fact that you have a family petition pending. They don't even ask. Okay, that's not an issue. So theoretically, you could come in on an E2, run your own business year after year after year, and if it's done right, you'd be here in 6 months, give or take. And then, once the visa number becomes current, you can adjust status, get the green card, and either close your business up or keep it running, whatever you want. So as you can see, there are a lot of different ways that you could come in sooner, and based on what I've told you, there is a variation of whether or not you can come here on a visitor visa, even though you have a family petition. Okay?